Thanks everyone so much for being here to help us celebrate Mom and Dad's 40th wedding anniversary. For those who don't know us, and I think most do, but there was a few I hadn't met yet. We are Lisa and Eric. We are Eric and Diane's kids. And we're obviously very grateful to be here and for Mom and Dad and their marriage, because without that, we wouldn't be here, obviously. But we're really grateful to all of you for coming tonight, especially those who came from out of town. We have a few folks in from California and lots of other places, and we feel so much love in the room tonight with everyone here, so thank you to all for coming. The 40th wedding anniversary is known as the Ruby Anniversary, and it's significant as it's estimated that only 20 to 25% of marriages actually make it to the 40-year mark. So, whoop, whoop, right?
We did it!
It's a big milestone, and we're happy to celebrate. And we're going to tell you a little bit about how Ed and Diane got here. So we're going to share a little of their story with you. And bear with us, we won't talk too long, and this will be the primary.
Should we leave the room now?
No, you can stay. It's PG, kid friendly. So some of you might know the story better than we do, but Mom Diane was born in Langenburg, Manitoba, to Woodrow.
Born in Superior.
I confirmed this with you last night.
Not Langenburg.
She did this the whole time we were planning this. It was like, no.
Might have been
She was
conceived.
born. Oh, my
That might have been
God.
That's true.
She was born to Woodrow and Caroline Yeski, who we called Woody and Carrie.
Cool.
And she's the youngest of 5 siblings. Reg is here tonight, Tom, and Joan and Barb. And Ed was the son of Adam and Emma Fitterer, and he was born Dan Bizzano. I got that right.
All right.
I know.
We weren't there. I mean, it's hard to know. And he is the eldest brother and has a younger sister, Janet, who's also here. Mom and Dad's love affair began in January of 1983 in Calgary. Diane was working as a nurse at Foothills Hospital at the time, and Ed was store manager at Phillies Audiovisual. Diane's nursing friend Debbie had convinced her to go out to a local nightclub, The Bank, here in Calgary for drinks. Diane didn't really want to go. She was a little hungover from the night before. And had planned to just stay for one drink, but that soon changed, as fate would have it, as Ed walked in to the bar that night. Diane insists still today that she knew the moment she saw Dad that she was going to marry him. And I recall her telling me that when I first heard the story of how they met, and she told her friend Debbie that night too. They spent the night dancing, chatting, and continuing their conversation in the back of Ed's car. After the until close to dawn. They finally said their goodbyes as he dropped her off at her apartment, and Diane was confident she'd hear from him soon. But she didn't. Not for 2 whole weeks.
What?
She had left her number for him on the back of one of his business cards, and Dad Ed had mistakenly given it to her friend Debbie for business purposes, we're told. And we confirm that. Debbie was married, but he didn't have her number anymore, so of course he couldn't call her. But nonetheless, he persisted, and Dad ran around town for 2 weeks looking for Diane, looking for Mom. He drove through her neighborhood, trying to remember which apartment building was hers. He stopped at the Foothills Hospital information desk, which I walk by every day now working there, to look for her, asking for a Diane. But of course, he didn't know her last name, so there were many nurses named Diane in the building at the time. Diane was really bummed she hadn't heard from Ed and had told her friend Debbie about his, what we call now, ghosting her, right? When they were planning an upcoming Valentine's party. And Debbie was surprised too, because she had seen Ed and Diane's connection that night at the bank. So she pulled out Ed's business card and called to invite him to the Valentine's party. And he was thrilled and told Debbie how he'd been looking for Diane for the last 2 weeks. So that Valentine's party was Ed and Diane's first official date. And Dad spooned Mom in the weeks after, sending flowers to her work and professing his love in the love letter he gave her when they went out for dinner 3 weeks later at Lakai on the River. They moved in together August that year and were engaged by November. Dad had come home from work one day and Diane was in sweats mopping the kitchen floor, and he had a ring in hand, put her on his knee, and asked her to marry him.
Actually, that.
So as those kids grew up and became responsible, well-adjusted adults, you know, Diane and Ed's love for travel only grew and today is legendary. So hence their gift over there if you haven't seen it. If there was a world record for the number of countries visited while still maintaining an immaculate lawn, they would definitely have it. So, you know, from European river cruises to the Sandals Resort Marathon, which I'm sure you've all seen. So just check out that world map over there. Each pin on that map is a location that they've been to, and there's also a couple red flags there for future. So, also there is a book over here for anyone who wants to suggest a destination that they might want to go to, you know? So they're cracking the southern hemisphere here next month, but there's still a lot unseen, right? So, sorry, lost my spot here, freestyling. So fast forward to August 25th, 1984. It was a hot 37-degree day in Saturday, and Ed and Diane tied the knot in Portage-la-Prairie, Manitoba, which is Mom's hometown. Diane told us that she did nothing to set up the wedding day. Her sisters and bridesmaids had planned everything. So what a way to be a bride. Zero stress at all. I don't think you could pull that off nowadays.
No.
Diane, Mom, wore a long-sleeved lace neckline dress with white flowers in her hair, pearls in her ears, and a bouquet of calla lilies in her hand. Ed looked sharp in an all-white, tailed tuxedo and a signature mustache. The man's got style. Pull off a white tuxedo. Their first dance was to Elvis's Can't Help Falling in Love. And the night was one that no one wanted to end. It didn't, thankfully, because Tom, Mom's brother, threw a Call of the Wild party, which, you know, you can just imagine what that's like, at the pool house the next day. And so Diane and Ed were very hungover when they had to leave for their honeymoon to Hawaii the following Monday. And we've heard stories about that party. It was wild. So just over a year later, Lisa was born in Calgary of April 1986. And then shortly after, job moved them all to Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, where I was born at Royal University Hospital in April of 1989. Ed took on another job opportunity back in Calgary when I was 10 days old. And Diane and her mom, Carrie, packed up the whole house in Saskatoon with a 3-year-old and me as a newborn in tow. And Calgary's where we've been ever since. So, Dad, you didn't really pull your weight there, though. Through the years, though, life's had its ups and downs, but what stands out most is our memories of family and friends who have filled our lives with joy and laughter. In our early years, we spent summers at the Fitterer cabin in the Shuswap with Dad's parents and the Hauerluck family. Every summer we head back to Portage-la-Prairie and visit Grandma Carrie and Mom's family, enjoying campfire sing-alongs led by Uncle Guy, which is something that Darren, Shane, Ashley, and myself have carried on as a tradition to this day. Our first trip to the States was in 1996 to visit Reg, Donna, Steve, Scott in California. We hit Disneyland, Universal Studios in San Diego, and though I was 6, that was a good trip, you know? We spent most Thanksgivings, Christmases, and Easters with the Hauerlucks, and had a few Groff and Kirsch family reunions in between all that. Some family trips took us to Jasper, Puerto Vallarta in 2003, Vegas for my 21st birthday. Thanks, Mom and Dad. And Hawaii in 2012. Diane and Ed have managed to build and keep friendships with so many, including neighbors like Brendan Lloyd, Craig and Debbie, who are here, parents of our childhood friends, Michelle, and sports teams parents. Mom coached many of those soccer teams. Supporting our sports careers was no small feat. Mom and Dad were always shuttling us around, cheering, or in Mom's case, yelling from the sidelines, and organizing snacks and dealing with grass-stained uniforms.
Let's not also forget their love for golf. Their passion for the game is well known, and actually started with my husband Darren, who just shot a 68 last week. So with help with Brian, he comes home every week with prizes from Men's League. Darren introduced Diane and Ed went to golf when he joined the family, and they have spent more time on the golf course than most people spend on their couches in retirement, playing through rain, heat, smoke, and probably some moments when they should have been packing for another vacation. Retirement certainly didn't slow them down. Along with travel and golf and afternoon patio drinks with friends, it's also brought a new adventure as full-time parents to my kids, Brooks and Casey. We're here. Watching Ed and Diane with my kids is like watching them on the golf course, except the stakes are higher, the hazards are flying toys and snacks rather than sand traps. We're joking because my kids are the best behavior. Every love story has its bumps, and Diane and Ed's is no exception. They faced the toughest times with the loss of their parents and juggled opposite work schedules and night shifts when we were kids, which I know now, being a parent of 2 small children myself, is no easy feat. However, I am in no rush for my kids to reach their teenage years, as I well know how challenging we were in that stage. Eric's rebellious phase might have added a few gray hairs, sorry Mom and Dad. My way of expressing frustration included picking holes in walls, not the most constructive approach, but certainly made for some memorable home repair projects. Despite it all, Diane and Ed kept her cool for the most part, finding humor in the chaos once the walls were patched and the carpet was dry. Through every challenge, Ed and Diane have always had each other's backs, offering a listening ear, a shoulder to cry on, and just the right amount of humor to get through tough times. Their marriage is built on trust, communication, forgiveness, and being intentional about having fun together and enjoying life. Their love story really is one for the books, and it's been a model for how we approach our own relationships. They've taught us that a strong marriage isn't about avoiding challenges, but facing them together. Mom and Dad always say that love isn't something that just happens to you, at least not over the long term. Staying in love, especially for as long as they have, is a choice. It's a choice to wake up every day and love your partner, to celebrate their strengths and goodness, to be patient with their quirks and the things that drive you crazy. It's a choice to love them exactly as they are in this moment, and to be willing to change and grow together as a couple, as a family, and as partners in life. Marriage really is work. It's not easy, but if you put the work in, it can be one of the most fulfilling aspects of our lives. Ed and Diane have taught us, and I'm quoting some unknown source here now, that love is a decision, not an emotion or feeling, that if made from the heart will outlast anything. And I'm going to pass it on now to Mom's older brother, Reg is Reg in the room right now, to give the toast. And we're going to crack some champagne after that, which we forgot to crack earlier.
I'll start that.
Good job, Eric. Good job, Reese.
You!
Aren't those the best kids?
Yes.
Aren't they
Whoa, there it is.
amazing?
Yes, they
Thank
are.
you, thank you. Thank you. And thank you guys for having us. We are so proud and happy to be here, every one of us.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us and having us be a part of such a memorable occasion. 40 years. Wow. You know? Diane is my youngest sister of 3. Of 5, I'm the oldest. But talk louder just without the But I have a sweatshirt that reads, "I'm not afraid of anything. I have 3 sisters." And it's true. I hope that I know that they have made me a better brother by having those 3 sisters. And I hope I made them better sisters by being their brother.
Absolutely.
But Diane and Ed, they complete each other. They have such attributes that when they're bound together, they're stronger than they are individually. And that's the way marriage has to be. You have to complement and complete each other with the attributes you have. And those attributes have made you better parents together, better career, better parenting, better marriage. And that's what makes a marriage. You know, it's not just a romantic journey. You have to make it happen. You have to make it work. And it's not easy. So congratulations.
Thank you.
But where did those 40 years go? Amazing, right? Yeah. And you know, these travelers, they're something. But Diane, you are an organizer. You always have been. You know, when you were growing up, you were the 5th wheel on our wagon. You know, and that was tough on you. But you were the best referee we ever had. When your 2 sisters were at it, you were referee. When my brother and I were at it, you were right there. But the bad thing is, you were also an informant to our parents. You let them know when we were doing bad things. So then they thought you were the perfect one because you were the informant. And we'd say, no, she instigated it. She instigated it. But what a dramatic one. And you know, Ed is so agreeable to you because you're the organizer. And he has to go along with everything you say. Mind you, he has to have that schedule where he has that time to have a drink. He has to have those set up already.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm just trying to see if there's anybody here that I can just to come up and say if there are other things. Well, you know, they met in a bar, but that's okay. You know, I mean, they didn't have the internet back then. They didn't have the internet. You either met at school, or at work, or at church, or in the bar. And I think the bar was the perfect place for you. But the thing was, were you there for the right reason? I think you were just going to have a few drinks to have your hangover and to do a little dancing. And then maybe he was coming in to have a cup of wine and a smoke. And then maybe the 2 of you saw each other and then, hey, you made history. What a way to do it. But, you know, Diane, you've always been a family person. You are the one that brings our family together. You're the king. You're the pivot. You make it happen. Because you know, when we're all so busy, every one of our families needs somebody like you. You know, because family gatherings are so important. None of us know our destiny. All of us need to have more time together with family. It's more important than anything in this world. And thank you for being that person. I just on behalf of everybody here, I can say how proud we are to give you a toast. So everybody with me? A toast to 40 wonderful years for this beautiful couple.
And 44.
And with God's grace and prayer, you will have